Alright, you're welcome once again to Heroic Universal Concept International. This is Heroic Online Institute. I'm editing one of my students' web projects. Okay, we are organizing front-end web development competition. Okay, and this is the project submitted by one of my students, Nzube. Actually, Nzube is, from what I've seen from the project he has done, I can see clearly that he's creative. He's one creative guy that will want to add all the interesting stuff to his website. Okay, so I've seen lots of anime. He was actually trying to add many animations here and there, and animation makes websites quite interesting to work with. Okay, and he's adding a lot of it. He's trying to add a lot of it, and the truth is that as you are growing in web development, you get to a point where you will begin to create awesome websites. Very interesting, very creative. But I won't. I will be failing on my duty if I didn't take my time to point out area you should consider so much. Number one, Times New Roman that you use. You seem to use a lot here. Times New Roman, you hardly see people use it in websites. To me, it's not the best font to use. It's not the best font. Okay, it's not the best font. Think you have to consider using another font. I will try to introduce you guys to Google fonts so that you can make research on it before I introduce you to it. Google fonts, so that you have access to lots and lots of fonts. Okay, that you are going to use in your websites. All right, that's it. Let me start pointing out stuff. Number one, okay, you have to consider spaces. I've said this before. I've said this in one of my students' web projects. It's padding. There is need for you to consider giving padding, enough padding. Maybe though you tried, but you still didn't do it well. For example, here, from here to here is good. It's a good padding, which is about 50 pixel padding, right? But here, it's bigger than 50 pixel. Okay, because of this button. Okay, I think you got it. Then here you find out that you didn't have enough space. You didn't put enough space between this text and this. This text seem to jump back from here down to this point. Okay, so you have to consider maybe giving a little space between this text and this information here. Okay, and this arrow you are putting, add 3. Most often it's supposed to be 2. So 3. 2 is better than 3, as in this 2. This is better than 3. Okay, all right, then just space, make a little space here and there. Okay, that's it. Then this one, this curve, to me it's so much. Just curve it beyond this. I think you have to reduce the curve so much. Reduce it. If it should be curved, let it not be too much. It's too much. Reduce the curve. It's too much, so that this text will appear clearly. Okay, and this picture is deformed. I've told you a bit about deforming a picture. It's not right to deform a picture, so work on the deformation of this picture. Okay, even some of these pictures seem deformed too, so look at them. Okay, this one is okay. Now this one also seems a bit deformed. I don't know if it is how the pictures are. Okay, they consider deformation, consider this so much. And one more thing, anyway, maybe this is how you want it to be. Okay, this one has a background too. This picture has a background too. Okay, that's okay. I thought if it's let's say PNG picture without background, I would have advised you to make this person to come to the front, so that this thing will be scrolling by the back. But it's okay. Leave it the way it is. Okay, so So you just see spaces. There should be spaces. Okay, maybe from here there should be space between. After typing this, you give a good space. You know, I've made mention of fonts, right? You see, you're using different fonts here and there. Whenever you want to develop a website, try to decide the font you want to use. Maybe you have to use like 2 fonts only. Okay, one font, maybe one font for heading, the other font for paragraphs. Then you can now use either the lighter or dark or thicker part of it. Or sometimes you might even consider using only one font, but then you can use thicker part of it and lighter part of it. You use font weight, or I use font weight to decide which one will be thick and which one will be light. Okay, like if you put font weight and you put let's say 100, it will be tiny. You understand? I know you understand what I mean by font weight. Okay, as in to thicken or lighten the thickness of the font. One font could give you a good job if you use it well. Okay, all right. You try this font. I like it. I like this font. Maybe if you can consider using this font for most of your text. Maybe you can now make, if you want to use it here, then you make it tinier. Okay, if you want to use it for heading, you make it big, bolder. Okay, then you give space between this one and this one. You give like from here to here, you give like 20 pixels. From here down bottom, you give like 20 pixels again. 20 pixel margin button for this, or maybe you just select this particular one. You give it margin top bottom 20 pixel, left right 0. It depends. Okay. Yeah, so that it will space out. We have a good space between this and this. Okay, then coming to this one. Okay, this is a fixed menu. Okay, fixed menu. It's nice. It's nice. Then, but you need to shift this a bit. Shift this icon. This icon is touching this menu, so it should be shifted. Okay, shifted. There should be space between the icon and the menu. And one more thing I want to say is, I think this curve here, if I'm the one doing it, there shouldn't be curve here. Okay, to just wrap completely here, then there should be a curve. Then you have maybe you can add more curve this way. Do you understand me? To curve like this, then there won't be curve here. It will wrap like this one. You see how this one will wrap completely. This one will wrap completely too. But there will be no good curve here. Then make a space here. Okay, maybe you might consider giving more space, more padding space. Okay, for this element a little bit. It will be perfect. But I think this concept you added, I think it's nice. It's a nice concept. It shows that you are improving in CSS. Okay, I've talked about giving a padding space. I mean, a margin between this and this. Do you understand? Maybe you can select this button. If you select the button, then you give a good space. Okay, then finally you seem to use so many colors, so many different colors. Let me see. Okay, I just want to check your color combination. You know, it's not actually wise to use so many colors, different colors in your website. Okay, but you are tempted to use many colors, even though you tried, but you will be tempted to use many colors. 2 colors can serve for your website. You understand? 2 colors will give you what you want. Okay, but you tried anyway. It's not much color anyway, but you were tempted to by kind of using different websites. Then one more thing I want to mention here is your button. Your button. If you watch the corrections I made in the other video in my other students project, you found out that I talked about button. It's wise that when you are using button, you have a format that you are going to be used for almost all the buttons in your website. Do you understand? For example, you see all these buttons. I think they need to be reformatted. What you need to do is just to create, let's say, a button class one button class. Okay, then apply that class to all your button. Then you create another. If you want to have two different button, you create one button class, apply it to all your button, create another. Maybe let me see if I will show you my can I open my talent development? Okay. I think it will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Let me open let me show you localhost. Let me open the talent development voting option. I think that this will help you understand what I'm talking about. So this is an example of what I'm talking about. The button. We create a kind of a button. Create this button. You see that? Now let me show you. Look at it here. You see that this is a kind of repetition of this. You understand me? So you can create two different buttons. The one will be light. The other one will be light. The other one will be dark. You see that? Maybe when you hover on this one, it becomes light. When you hover on this one, it becomes dark. You see that? That is what you have to learn. So I use one button style, or if you're going to use two button style, it won't be much. I mean, you won't use it so much. You understand? So that's the point I'm making. So format this. It always works to remove this border. Remove this border, this particular border. But even though I've seen that you like 3D, 3-dimension stuff, I think this border should go. And again, I've talked about this. Leave two it, so it's enough for this. Okay, so the same. Leave only two. I think two will be enough for this. Okay. So there is need for space here for line height. You need to add line height here. This button, I've talked about button. Okay, use one button style for this. You see the space there. You didn't have good space. You need to give a space between this picture. I mean the space. This text shouldn't be touching the picture. So you have to work on it. Okay. I've talked about font. There should be space between this picture, this and there, and this image. Okay. Good space. You give it like 50 pixel space. 50 pixel space. Very important. Padding or margin. 50 pixel. Okay. 50 pixel. The same for this one. 50 pixel. It's supposed to start somewhere here. Okay. 50 pixel. Always consider space. Space is extremely essential to make it look professional, to make your work look professional. Do you understand me? So correct all this stuff. Take your time, correct all this stuff. Okay. That said, I think I've talked at much. I mean, I've talked at length. Let's go to about us. I think generally, you see that this is not well arranged. Seems to be kind of scattered. I think what you have to do is this. Next time you want to create website, don't start creating by yourself. Always look for already made websites. For now, as a beginner, you've not mastered spacing. You've not mastered the UI, user interface of a website. Okay, so you need to be working with already made website. Very important. Already made website. For example, if you want to create e-commerce website, look for an e-commerce shop, a professionally done e-commerce shop. If you want to create, let's say, in fact, any kind of website, search for that kind of website on Google. When you get it, look at the website, then you start creating. Don't assume a website and start creating by yourself. If you do that, you won't get it right. You always make mistakes. But if you start using already made websites to learn, to keep creating yours, you become used to spacing out your stuff. Okay, because the spacing here is not well. Even picture placement and arrangement is not well done. You need so much improvement in it. Okay, so that is by the way. Now you see this picture. I've commented on picture like this before. These pictures are pirate. If you use it, it's not good. These are watermark, showing that these pictures are not the original picture. You shouldn't use a picture like this that has watermark like this. When you use it, it's a kind of pirated. You are going against a piracy law, and the owner of this picture can sue you. You understand? Now, so this picture, it shows that it has a a bigger version of it that is on sale. If you want to use it, you have to buy that one. Okay, so that's what it's telling you. You see that? So you see this picture again, the same thing. You don't have to use the picture that has this place. Very important. This is important so that if you're creating someone else's website professionally, you don't use some of these things that has watermark. Okay. All right. So that's it. Like I said, the advice I gave you, it's important. It's very important. Always try to work with someone else's website, a website that is already done, professionally done. Use it to learn. It will help you a lot. Okay. That's it. Contact. You see, there's a huge mistake here. I see. Talking about color combination. Whenever you're working with a website, you have to decide the color that you are going to use for all pages in the website, so that someone will not feel, you are creating a website that people are going to interact with. Okay, you see this particular place now, it is completely different from the other website, the main website. You see, the look and feel, they are completely different. Someone will feel like he's in another different website altogether. He has left your website and is in another different website that is not yours. Are you getting me? So you have to be very careful with the color. When you're using color, use straight color. If you want to use this kind of color, make sure that you use it for all parts of the website. It's important so that you don't get people confused. Okay. And the blog, you've not done anything in the blog part of it. If you don't want to do anything in a particular menu, maybe you're not yet done with it, you close it, you remove that menu for the moment, as you comment the menu out, so that when you are done with it, then it will show. Okay. So the same with this one. Let's check this one. So I believe you've seen all these corrections. Then again, this menu, you see this place, what you wrote here, and the way this thing is, people might get confused because this the text field is not showing. Someone that comes to sign in may get confused how to sign in. You get me? Text field is not showing. And this button, I've talked about button. Use one button. You use so much animation, and it is beyond. You have to limit your use of animation, otherwise it will spoil things for you. Okay, until you grow in expertise. When your expertise grow, then you will not decide where animation should be, because you seem to be adding so much animation than it's supposed. Okay. That is by the way, but it's okay. We are all learning. We are growing in learning. Okay, so try to see what you can do to make the text field visible. If you don't want to make it visible, maybe draw a line. Just keep button margin. Button border. We could make the button border visible so that it will be like a line was drawn, so someone will know, okay, that I'm supposed to type in here. Okay, so that's by the way. That's it. Then there should be a space here again, top space, a little space here, and this is supposed not to be on top of this. You understand me? There should be good space. Whenever you have a heading before the content, there should be a space. Okay, that should be a good space. At least you give it like, let's say, about 20 or 15 pixel space between this and this. Maybe you target this particular heading, give it 20 pixel before this paragraph. You get me? So also, but this one, I think I like this thing you did here. I think I like it somehow. Okay, maybe you have to space this one out a little bit. This one will go down a bit. Okay, this one will go down a bit. This one will just go down a little bit. Okay, if you get all these things right, I think you tried, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you to a good extent. So we've talked about using so much animation, right? But for you to use all this animation and use it to this point shows that you are truly growing, and I'm proud of you. Okay, so that is great. You did a good job, and I appreciate. Okay, so make these corrections and get ready, prepare for presentation. I will soon talk about I'll show you guys how to prepare your presentation, what and what to consider in the course of preparing a presentation, okay, and other things that will follow. Thank you so much.